people very often stop and they say, I'm enlightened, because one piece of the puzzle turned the other way around. And they go, oh, I've seen it. And then another person has turned another piece over and said, I'm enlightened, I've seen it. And they go, but my piece has got this in it.
Yeah.
And the other one goes, oh, no, my piece has got this.
Sorry, wrong enlightenment.
And then they go, you're wrong, because my piece showed me this piece.
Yeah.
So the only way we could ever really be in harmony with each other is when the whole picture is revealed, and then you go, oh, all of us were right. We just saw different pieces in different moments in time. So these revelations of the pieces being the right way around have occurred in history. The problem is that the person's gone, I've got it. And whole religions are built upon it because they've got one little piece the other way around. I've seen heaven. Oh, I've seen heaven, they say. And it's like this. And so we turn one piece over, and then we're prepared to turn another piece over, and then another piece over. And we keep turning all the pieces over until everything's the right way around. So, of course, everything's upside down.